Good morning, children. Are all of you ready for the class? Did you forget our king? Yes, where is he standing now? At the hermit's hut. Why did he go there? Yes, to get his questions answered. And did he get the answer? No. The hermit did not answer his questions. So the king was not shown any justice. We also, the hermit did not show any justice to him, and we also did not show any justice because for the last 2 weeks, last week you did not have English period. So for the last 2 weeks, the hermit was there, and the king was there at the hermit's hut. So now let's see what happened there. Now when the king was about, so he did not get the answer to his question, so he was about to leave the hermit's hut. So now, when he was about to leave the hut, the hermit saw someone running towards his hut. "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. The king turned round and saw a bearded man. A man with a beard was running towards his hut. His hands were pressed against his stomach. So his hands were, the bearded man's hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. So blood was flowing from his stomach. When he reached the king, now the bearded man, when he reached the king, he fainted. He lost his conscience and fainted down there itself. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing to see what has happened, to see the wound. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. So the man was having a large wound in his stomach. The king, so now there was no hospital, like now there were no hospitals. So the king himself washed the wound and did all the first aid and covered it with his handkerchief. The king did all the first aid. Now he covered the wound with his kerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. It was a deep wound. So the blood was still flowing. So if the blood flows like that, what will happen? The man will die. The king redressed. So again he redressed. He dressed the wound again until at last the bleeding stopped. Fortunately, the bleeding stopped now. The man felt better. Now the man was feeling better and he asked for something to drink. The king brought some fresh water and gave it to him. So by this time the sun had set and the air was cool. It was night now. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. Now the king along with the hermit, so the king helped the hermit to carry the wounded man to the hut. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. So he was feeling some sort of relief. So he was lying down quietly. The king, what about the king? He was very tired because he was traveling a long distance to reach the hermit's hut. And not only that, he was working for the whole day, helping the hermit, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. So he was very tired and he just lay down on the floor and he had a good sleep. He had a sound sleep. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember. So the king, who was supposed to lie in a silk bed, now is lying on the floor. And now he had a good sleep throughout the night, and the next day he could not remember where he was and who the stranger was with him. "Forgive me," said the bearded man. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice. When he saw the king was awake. Now, the bearded man was waiting for the king to wake up from the sleep. And now he asked his forgiveness. What for? He did not do any harm to the king. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for. See, I don't know you, then why? What is the need of asking my forgiveness? The king asked. The bearded man. You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours. Yes. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. I had promised to take a revenge on you. Because, what's the reason? Because you put my brother to death and seized my property. You had put my brother to death and had seized and you took away, you had taken away all my property. That is the reason for the revenge, for the enmity. Reason for the enmity is the bearded man's brother was put to death by the king and he had also taken away his property. I knew you had gone alone to see that hermit and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. So I knew that you had gone alone to see that hermit. The king did not take his bodyguard along with him. And I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. When you returned, I thought of killing you. But the day passed and you did not come back and you did not return. So I left my hiding place. So the man was hiding somewhere there. So he left his hiding place because he did not see the king. And I came upon your bodyguard. So I came to your bodyguard who recognized me. So he recognized me and wounded me. So it was the bodyguard of the king who wounded this person. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. See, I got escaped from him, and if you had not dressed my wounds, now I would not be alive. I would have died. I wished to kill you. I was your enemy and I came to kill you. I wished to kill you. And you have saved my life. Now, if I live, now you have saved my life. Now you are not my enemy. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant. So, from now onwards, I would be your most faithful servant. And will order not only me, I will order my sons also to do the same, to serve you. Now, forgive me. So, now the bearded man who was the sworn enemy of the king who came to kill him now has become his most faithful servant. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily. Now the king has made peace with his enemy very easily. It is not at all good to keep enmity towards a person and to have won him over as a friend. Now his bitter enemy has become his good friend. He not only forgave him, but said he would send his servants, and now the king forgave him, and not only that, he promised that he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him. And he promised to give back his property also. The property that he had taken from him, he promised to give it back. So leaving the wounded man, the king went out. Now only the king remembered about his questions. See the character of the king's children. He came to the hermit's hut for his 3 questions to be answered. So, but he did not remember about any of these questions and all, when he dressed the man, and when he brought the man back to his life. Now only he remembered about his 3 questions. Leaving the wounded man there, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit, because he had to return. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to his questions. So once more, the king knew very well that a hermit is not going to answer his questions, but once more he tried to get the answers. The hermit was on his knees sowing seeds in the beds that had been dug in the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you," he is the king, and now he has come here in disguise of an ordinary man. And see the character of the king, children. Being a king, he can give orders. There is no need of a request. But he is not doing so. Why? That shows his respect towards that wise man. "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." See, again the answer. "You have already been answered." This time the hermit lifted his head and told, "Yes, you have already been answered. You have got the answers to your questions," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king. "How have I been answered? How? Who gave me the answer?" "What do you mean?" "Do you not see?" replied the hermit. "If you had," now he is saying who has answered the king, how his questions were answered. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday." Listen properly. The hermit is telling the king how he was answered. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday." Yesterday, when you came here, I was digging the ground and now digging the beds, and now you felt pity for me. And now if you had not felt so, what would have happened? And had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. So, who was there waiting for you? Yes, the bearded man, the enemy. Then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time. So what was one question? What is the right time to do something, you asked me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds. So what's the right time to do something, you asked me. Now, yes, you have been answered now. How? The most important time was when you were digging the beds for me. That is the right time. And that's it, children. So if the king had not dug the beds for the hermit, then surely he would have got killed by the bearded man. And again you ask me who is the important, we have to listen to, whom the king has to listen to. And I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. See, I am the most important man, because if I was not there, if you had not had me, then now you would not have been alive. And to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, again what happened? When the bearded man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. Then what was the most important time then? When the man came running towards us. It was the most important time was when you were caring for him. Because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died. So he would have died if you had not given enough care for him, if you had not dressed his wound properly. And so how he would die? He would have died without having made peace with you. Now he has made peace with you. He is very happy. This man would have died without making peace with you as your enemy. It is not good. So he was the most important man. So he was when you helped me, I was the important man. And when you helped that person, he was the most important man. And what you did for him was your most important business. Is it clear? Now what you did for him, the care you gave him, was the most important business. Remember then, there is only one time that is important. You ask me which is the most important time? There is only one time that is important, and that time is now. That time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. If we have to do something good, it could not be done the last day, or it cannot be done after that. So, now is the right time to do something at present. The most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment. The person now you are with is the most important person for you. Why? Because for no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. Nothing can be predicted. The most important business is to do that person good. So if you want to do, the most important thing to do is to do that person good, the person you are with. Because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. So we were sent, the Tolstoy's message through the story is, we were sent to this world to do good for someone we are with at present. All of you enjoyed the story, children? So you have learned many morals from the story. See, all the questions have been answered. How the hermit gave the answer to the questions he did not. That is why hermit was keeping quiet. First, we were also angry with the hermit because he was not answering the king. Even though he requested many times, he was not ready to answer. But through examples, he had given proper answers to all these questions. So, one important message also is given to this. What is that? You must not keep enmity towards anyone. That is not at all good, because enmity is the root cause of all the crimes. Okay, children? So, thank you very much for listening to me. So, see you again soon. Till then, goodbye.